Hi there, this is the first video from a small series where I'm going to introduce you on how to set up this leaf tracker. This first video is going to refer to the time of records tab, meaning this one. This tab you will be using to record all your employees leave requests. So for the beginning, when you will receive this, you will have to empty everything to delete all the requests recorded in here and start with a simple one. In the Excel version, this is very easily because everything is password protected, so you can delete anything wrong. But in the Google Sheets, because we cannot pass the ownership of the file to you, you'll have to be very careful because there's no area protected and it's very easily to delete something that will affect the functionality of this tracker. In case you need to protect the Google Sheet version, please get in touch with us to our email address, and we will help you to protect all sensitive areas totally for free. You will not have to pay anything extra. We will help you to protect the areas in case you need to use the Google Sheet version. Okay, that being said, please let me know what you'll have to do here. This is the Excel version, so as I said, everything is password protected, so you won't be able to delete anything, and you will not have the option to break this down. So you will just have to come in here, select everything, and just press delete. Okay, this is how you will have to do. Select everything from here and delete. I'm gonna undo all the changes because I need this data to show you how everything works. Okay, so the only protected area are these two columns for the ID and the position, and this error handler section. Beside to these areas, you have to delete everything. Okay, so in this first tab, time of record, you'll just have to come here and select an employee, Michael Johnson. The system will automatically bring the informations for you, which is the employee ID and the position. These are recorded in the settings tab, meaning this is the employee ID and this is the position. Let me just grab it to the left a bit to see the employee's name. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to configure this entire tab in next video. Okay, but now let's talk about the time of records. You'll select the date. In the Excel version, you'll have to enter manually the date because we don't have a drop down list here, a drop down or a pop-up calendar, how someone likes to say. If you have this option implemented already into the Excel, you will have the drop down possibly available. If not, just please enter the dates manually, but don't forget you'll have to respect the date format, which is month, day, and year. Month, day, and year. For this, let me record for Michael Johnson a new time of request, which is, for example, May, month 25, 2024. Something to keep in mind here is that you cannot overcross the month and you cannot overcross the year. For example, May, you cannot record a time of request if it starts for on 25 May and you need to go to let's say 5 July or June. You have to record the dates for the same month. Okay, and then end date, let's presume 27 2024. Okay, what that means, it means that starting from 25 May up to 27, Michael Johnson is on, let's select the reason, is on vacation and his status is approved. Okay, now if we go in Michael Johnson, let's select Michael Johnson, and let's have a look on May. We don't have here because a standard we are using now the fiscal year from the settings, and May is outside of the fiscal year because we set up the fiscal year to start on 1st June. Okay, And if we go into the employee for year, we see that we are tracking 1st June 2024, 31 May 2025. Everything that is highlighted in yellow is outside of our fiscal year and it is not counted. Okay, but as you see, we have here a day of vacation. This is most probably a day of vacation. Let me go into the employee per month, and let's go and select May 2024, and we will see that we selected 25 up to 27, and we have just one day because 25 and 26 is weekend days, and we set up in the settings to ignore the weekend days. These are non-working days. Okay, and the system will not track this. It will not count. That's why 27 is a Monday and it will show us and calculate only Monday. If we change from the fiscal year to standard year, let me just select it to standard year and come back to the employees per month, we see that only 2024 standard year is shown and we have just 27 on Monday. Okay, what I need to show you in this time of record sub is this column, which is specially created for partial time hours, meaning partial leave requests hours. In case one employee doesn't use a full day as a leave and he wants to leave only half of day or only a few hours, just use this special, where is it, partial time off, the special time off request, and select the number of hours. Maybe you want to use 4 hours and 50 minutes, or let me use around 4 hours. Okay, and if we go into the employee for year, we see that now Michael Johnson in 2024 in month of May and 27 is having 20 on 27 is having 4 hours. Let me show you what is doing. Let's suppose he's using up to 29. This means that starting from 25, which we have an error handler here, meaning that one day from our start day or end date, it is a Sunday or a holiday or a non-working days. As you see here, system is warning us that one of these days in our system is selected as a Sunday, Saturday, or other non-holiday, non-working days. This is what this question mark it means. Okay, so we set up 25 up to 29. Michael Johnson needs 4 days, 4 hours daily between these two times. Okay, and if we go into the employee for year, if we see that the system is showing us 4 hours daily for Michael Johnson from 27 and 29. 25 and 26 is not showing because these are non-working days. The system is overprotecting us because even if we set up from 25 and is notifying us that we have holidays or non-working days into our start date and month day, it will not count these non-working days because we said so. Do not track Sundays, Saturdays, or holidays. Okay, so select weekend days and exclude paid days off or non-working days. Okay, and we said yes, please exclude. If we select do not exclude, count these as working days also, the system will not protect us and will leave us to do what do we want. Just a bit time to do all the calculation, and we see that now we have 20 hours for 5 days, and also we will get the notification that we have weekends in this in our between our start date and end date. Okay, so we just set up and the system will do exactly what we are telling it to do. Let's set up that we do not want to use Saturdays, Sundays, or holidays. Okay, we can set up also Friday, Saturdays, or Sundays, depending on our week. If we set up the week, set up the weekend for Friday and Saturday, we will set up from here. Select the Saturday and Sunday, select the Friday and Saturdays, leave holidays, and we will see that the system will automatically see that 26 is not Saturday anymore, it's not a weekend for us because we set up Friday and Saturday. Okay, that would be all about the time of request. This is the easiest one. Every tab is easier and easier, excepting the settings where you will need to understand exactly how the system is working and what you need to set up. But we'll get there, and I'm most than confident that you will understand how easy it is to set up everything. Thank you, and I will see you in the next guideline video to say so. Have a good day.